Recording.
Welcome to the Manson area of Lake Chelan. Some of the first irrigation in this area was around 1900. The first irrigation district, I believe their rights were 1907, which was the Lake Chelan Irrigation District. So all of these orchards out here, traditional farming. In the last 25-30 years, the primary, I guess, income for this region has become tourism. When I was growing up, probably just as I was leaving in the mid-1980s, it had created kind of a 50-50 balance, but by the mid-90s it was tourism. These little buildings on the right were originally for farm workers. The farm workers were traditionally in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Migratory people from Arkansas and Oklahoma would come up after their crops were finished and help harvest the crops up here, families. Then by the 80s, it had transitioned into from families to some hippies and then into Hispanics following the crops up out of the Central Valley of California. Now, much of the labor is imported under H-2A programs from the federal government. There's still some traditional local families that work it, but very difficult for them to live in this valley. So many of them commute 50, 60 miles to come and work on the orchards. Many of the traditional farm worker housing have been converted into apartments. Go by one here. This was originally owned by Buck Fruit, was refurbished into rental homes, rental apartments. Some of the few low-income housing areas that people can afford to live in and still work out here. Growing up, we called this Baker Ridge. Many of the Baker family lived out here. Now it's mostly all summer homes, vacation homes. Road on the other side of the lake goes to the 25-mile mark of 55 miles. This side, the roads end about 12 miles from the foot of the lake. Directly ahead of us is a region of the lake called the Narrows. In the Narrows, if the lake wasn't there, it would be almost twice as deep as the Grand Canyon from the top of the peaks to the bottom of the valley where the lake is, the bottom of the lake sits. So on the other side of the lake, all those homes that are sitting down next to the lake, all of their water comes from 30 feet below the surface or deeper from the lake. So that's a quickie about the Manson area of Lake Chelan.